I really didn't come to look at bikinis and fatties. Mainly because it was too hot. So I ran off to the water park to have some fun. Suddenly a pink lunchbox flew out. Why a lunchbox? Because it's for packing rice on one side and dishes on the other. I took off my own sun protective shirt and put it on the beauty. To keep others from looking, I turned my head to look. The beauty was so moved her eyes turned red. I waved my big hand. Hey, such a small matter. No need to be so moved. The beauty was baring her teeth in pain. Thank you. But your zipper hit me. Seeing the beauty in pain, I felt a bit embarrassed, right? I saw the beauty was scared and flustered, clutching her clothes tightly. No need, I'm fine. The beauty's face grew redder and redder. She directly ignored what I said. Wrapped in my sun shirt, she just dashed off like a streak. So I planned to go to a nearby internet-famous bar, have a few drinks, and relax a bit. After all, it's not easy to finally get to travel. I went into the bar. I found a little corner spot to sit and drink. But unexpectedly, even though I hid so well, someone still managed to come over. A 40-something auntie came to hit on me without even saying hello. She just sat down right across from me, handsome, drinking alone. Seeing that hungry look in her eyes, I felt really annoyed. I opened my mouth and said, "You're half a person coming to drink." Seeing me talk like this, the woman deliberately acted coy and ladylike. "You don't like an auntie like me?" I gave a cold smile. "Sorry, I still prefer beauties." Hearing that, the woman's face darkened and she stood up and left. Then I heard a familiar soft chuckle from behind me. I turned my head to look. It was actually the beauty I had met frankly in the pool today, facing my meaningful gaze. Her smile instantly froze on her face. She said awkwardly, "Looks like you don't need my help." Turns out she saw me being harassed and wanted to come help me out. I only thanked her with my eyes. But the beauty didn't leave. Instead, she sat down across from me and awkwardly opened her mouth and said, How much was your sun shirt? I'll transfer it to you." "It's fine, no need." But the beauty was very insistent. "You helped me. I can't just let you take the loss. I'll send you 250. "Why are you cursing me?" "I mean my sun shirt is 250. After she transferred the money, the beauty left, and once I drunk enough, I also planned to go back to the homestay to rest. But as soon as I walked out of the bar, I found that the woman who hit on me just now was still waiting at the door, seeing me come out. She jingled her car key, pointing at her luxury car. "Handsome, where are you going? I'll give you a ride." I was just about to refuse when I heard the beauty had followed as well. She walked up to my side like we were familiar. "Let's go together. I'll give you a ride, for the beauty's sake." I swallowed a sentence full of heavy cursing and took a taxi with her to Flower Homestay. The beauty was a bit surprised. "You're staying there too. This coincidence is really something." I chatted all the way with the beauty. I learned that the beauty's name is Lu Ruyan. She also came traveling alone and is also staying at Flower Homestay. This damn fate really works well. Lu Ruyan excitedly invited me. Then I said, "Well, we could be travel buddies. That's not impossible." Right after Lu Ruyan and I exchanged green bubbles, we chat contacts. Neither of us expected that our very first trip as travel buddies would actually be to the hospital. After we got back to the homestay, I washed up and went to sleep, but in the middle of the night, I was suddenly woken up by a bout of sharp cramping pain. An intense discomfort came from my stomach, and the next second I ran to the bathroom, hugging the toilet and throwing up like the world was spinning. I was really in too much pain. In this unfamiliar place, there was no way to ask family or friends for help, so I could only video call Liu Royan for help. She was quite enthusiastic and quickly took me to the hospital. The final diagnosis was acute gastroenteritis caused by eating the wrong thing. After they put me on an eye drip, I looked at Liu Royan, who was so sleepy she was doubting her life choices, and I weakly said, "You should go back and sleep first." Me handling it alone? No way, that's okay. Liu Royan instantly sobered up. "You being here alone? What if something happens?" "I'm fine, you don't need to worry about me." "Then thank you. Really didn't die in vain." What I meant was to praise him for knowing how to repay kindness. But I didn't expect Liu Royan to blush again. "If you really want to thank me, then don't bring this up again in the future." "Okay, I won't mention it." After all this tossing around, we were both exhausted. Soon we were leaning against the hospital bed and fell asleep. When the eye drip was finished, it was already gone. I was still a bit weak, but basically almost recovered, and could be discharged, because I had thrown up everything in my stomach last night. I was already starving, so I casually found a breakfast stall to buy fried dough sticks, one yu tao, and a cup of soy milk. Then I asked Liu Ruyan what she wanted to eat. "Same as you for Liu Royan." When I finally went to pay, the boss handed the food over. "That'll be 30 in total." Hearing that, I was shocked. "How much? 30 for just 2 yu chow and 2 cups of soy milk? You're charging 30, boss? Is this fried dough stick fried in engine oil or what? The price of oil has gone up lately." I looked at him coldly. "Are you frying them in 98-octane gasoline after returning to the homestay?" I didn't have the strength to go out again, so I told Liu Ruyan to go have fun by herself, but I didn't expect that he was actually quite loyal. He said since we agreed to be travel buddies, we have to stay together. "I'll just be in my own room. If you need anything, call me." I knew that was just an excuse. He simply didn't feel at ease leaving me alone in the homestay. I felt a bit guilty in my heart, so I suggested, "How about I treat you to a movie then? We'd just be sitting around at the homestay anyway." Sure, except we forgot that day was April the 13th, the local water splashing festival. After Liu Royan and I finished the movie, we had just walked out of the cinema when a basin of water was poured right over our heads, soaking us completely. The mountain wind was light and teasing, and our clothes clung tightly to our bodies. By the time we finally managed to break through the crowd, both of us were soaked from head to toe. We looked into each other's eyes and instantly turned red and looked away. It wasn't easy finally getting to the inn, only to be told by the landlady that my room had already been automatically cancelled and had been booked by other guests, so she needed me to move out quickly. Speaking of this, I suddenly remembered that when I booked the room in the app before, the default duration was 2 nights, and yesterday I went to the hospital and forgot to extend it. Then just now when I was watching a movie with Liu Ruyan, I had put my phone on silent, so I didn't get the landlady's call. So I wanted to ask the landlady to open another room for me, but was told there were no rooms left. Talk about misfortunes never coming alone. I wasn't even fully recovered yet, and I got soaked all over again. Now, I didn't even have a place to stay. Luckily Liu Ruyan had booked a suite, and said she could put me up for a while. After moving all my stuff into Liu Ruyan's room, I took a hot shower, and finally felt comfortable. But just as I was getting better, Liu Ruyan came down with a fever. When we were having dinner, Liu Ruyan was lying weakly on the sofa, saying she had no appetite. I walked over to take a look. His face was flushed red. Listlessly, I reached out and felt his forehead. It was actually a bit hot. He must have a fever. Probably because he got wet and then caught a draft. To go with her to the hospital, but I was pulled back. I brought emergency medicine. I just took some. I'll be fine after some rest. Are you sure? Even though he said that, I still felt a bit worried. So I had Liu Ruyan lay properly on the bed, wrung out a warm towel, and told her to wipe her forehead. Liu Ruyan had no patience, and stopped moving after just 2 minutes of wiping. I pressed the towel back onto her. "How can you be like this? Forget it, I'll wipe it for you." So I took over this task, in charge of cooling him down. I don't know how many trips I made back and forth, but Liu Ruyan's temperature really did go down. So I worked even more diligently. Until on the next trip, when I brought the towel over, I accidentally stepped on a puddle of water on the floor, and slid straight forward, falling directly onto the bed. To be precise, I landed right on top of Liu Ruyan, because he had his eyes closed to rest, and found the light too glaring. There was only a dim little nightlight left on in the room. Liu Ruyan's handsome features looked especially gentle and alluring in that light, since he still had a fever. Both sides of his cheeks were faintly flushed. The whole person gave off a fragile, breakable feeling that was simply impossible to ignore. And when I fell on him just now, he instinctively wrapped his arms around my waist. Right now we were extremely close. Our noses were practically touching. The atmosphere had already turned this ambiguous. If I didn't do something, it didn't really seem worthy of Liu Ruyan's beauty. So in a rush of impulse, I leaned toward his thin lips and kissed him directly. After my brain finally caught up, I thought I would be pushed away, but unexpectedly the hand on my waist suddenly tightened, and someone actually deepened the kiss. Afterwards, we were completely exhausted, too tired to even feel embarrassed, and fell asleep in each other's arms. I was sleeping groggily until midnight, when I was woken up by a phone call. Afraid of disturbing the patient, I hurriedly took my phone to the bathroom to answer it. But after I picked up, I heard that my dad had been in a car accident. The news, in the middle of the night, instantly sobered me up. I quickly got dressed and packed my luggage. By the time I rushed back overnight, when I arrived at the hospital, I learned that my dad only had some minor scratches. It looked scary with all the blood, but in fact they were just superficial wounds. Only then did I finally let out a sigh of relief. God knows when I heard my dad had a car accident, how nervous I was inside. Then, when my rationality finally returned, I suddenly remembered Liu Ruyan, whom I had just left behind at the homestay. I had just thought of her when I received the message from her. Where did you go? Seeing this message, I hesitated for a moment. These past days, my time with Liu Ruyan had actually been pretty good. I had even developed a faint feeling for her in my heart. Otherwise I wouldn't have in a rush of hormones actually kissed her, and even had strawberry grain level contact with her. But during the days I was with Liu Ruyan, we never talked about each other's lives. We didn't even know which city the other came from. It was just a fleeting romance on a own night journey. Even if I rushed back to the homestay right now, what could I even do? It's not like I could really stay there for her or stay in her city. Maybe letting this relationship end here is the best choice. A few seconds hadn't even passed before Liu Ruyan sent another message. You left your stuff in my place. Absent-mindedly, I replied. Then just throw it away for me. On her end, Liu Ruyan also reacted and asked, so you just left like that, and you're not coming back? I felt a little guilty. No, I'm not coming back, haha. A scumbag for 24 years. This was the first time someone had called me a scumbag, but I deserved it. Liu Ruyan asked again. You're really not planning to date me? No, I said regretfully. I don't want a long-distance relationship. I want the kind where when we argue, a slap can immediately land on the other person's face. You and I aren't suitable. After I said this, Liu Ruyan stopped replying to me. I didn't contact her again either. I originally thought she would just become a beautiful, romantic episode in my life. But the very next second, that romance turned into thunder and lightning, crashing down all over me. Because on my first day back at work after my annual leave ended, I ran into Liu Ruyan. She was standing at the entrance of my company, looking relaxed, her hands in her pockets, as if she were waiting for someone. Only her face was full of coldness, with a look like someone collecting a debt. I was very suspicious that the person she was waiting for was me. The next second, she confirmed my suspicion. She walked up and scolded me. Scumbag, I felt a bit guilty. How did you know I'd be here, Liu Ruyan? Hey, don't worry about how I knew. If you're fine, I'll leave. I grabbed her. So, you came all this way to find me, just so you could call me a scumbag to my face? Yeah, Liu Ruyan frowned and said, I also like the kind of relationship where if I want to curse someone, I can immediately curse them to their face. After a moment of speechlessness, I suddenly came to my senses. You wouldn't also be one of the worldly people, would you? Isn't this just a misunderstanding between our own people? One of our own hurting another? I gave a pleasing smile about that relationship. Liu Ruyan turned and walked away coldly, knowing I was in the wrong. I didn't dare to stop her. Just before she disappeared from sight, I shouted out passionately, it's okay, wait for me to chase you, until you finally want to date. After all, since we're in this life together, I still have to take responsibility, because I was the one who flirted first that day. It was me sending good morning, afternoon, and night greetings, messaging her 3 times a day like meals. I wanted to make up for my mistake, and win back Liu Ruyan's heart. But I just returned to the office after annual leave, and had a lot of business to take care of. I quickly became overwhelmed with work. One morning, right before heading out for sales, I messaged bombed Liu Ruyan. A bit busy today. Let's finish all of Toddy's chatting right now. Are you awake? Up yet? Had breakfast? Busy this morning? What's for lunch? Get some rest after eating. Plans for the afternoon? Dinner's a bit late. What did you eat? Go freshen up quickly, and get some sleep early. After sending the messages, I left the house feeling satisfied. I really am a dating genius, as long as I work hard. But before I could even finish feeling smug, Liu Ruyan replied, so this is how you chase someone? You're doing great. Don't bother next time. My smile instantly froze on my face. Hey, I really am a dating genius, as long as I work hard. There isn't a single relationship I can't screw up. Unfortunately, I was about to be late for work, so I had to head to the office first. But unexpectedly, after staying silent for a long time, she actually replied again. Fine, I'm awake. Just got up, haven't eaten yet. Not busy having Western food. Getting ready for a nap. Going to the office this afternoon. No appetite tonight. Yeah, going to bed. Good night. See, told you. I am a dating genius. Back home after a busy day, I finally had time to think about Liu Ruyan. Now I finally realized that my behavior today was a bit insensitive. I should have just told her directly. In busy today, let's chat later. A conversation, like a checklist, was indeed too half-hearted. So I sent another message. Awake? She replied instantly. Yeah. I just got off work. How about we chat? About what? To make her happy. I specifically searched for some funny jokes online. Teasing her. It's late. How about we talk about some adult topics? Maybe because my tone was too serious. Liu Ruyan got her guard up. Fine, go ahead. I'm listening. What time do you work tomorrow? Liu Ru. Are you kidding me? Gee, is this how all internet jokes go? I tried to explain, but after sending the message, I saw a red exclamation mark. Liu Ruyan blocked me. I quickly used an alt account to add her, and then apologized frantically. Sorry. It wasn't on purpose. I just wanted to make you laugh with a joke. But Liu Ruyan was convinced I was just messing with her. The guys who like me angrily could line up from here to France. Why should I put up with this crap from you? Wow, then can you ask the ones lining up to France to bring me a bottle of red wine? 1 minute passed. Liu Ruyan didn't reply. 5 minutes passed. Still nothing. Then I carefully probed a little. Sure enough, he blocked me again. How can this person not have a single cell of humor? But I won't hold it against him. I used another of my little accounts, and probably added him again. This time I didn't fool around. Instead, I took the initiative to invite him out. Sorry, I didn't mean to piss you off. I'll treat you to a meal tomorrow. As an apology, okay? Liu Ruyan was still angry. No, if I eat with you, I'll go crazy. Sigh, fine. If you won't eat, then forget it. Anyway, in your heart, I'm not important either. After all, I'm just a withered fallen leaf. No one cares. Swaying every day with the wind and rain. I often think, is my drifting the pursuit of the wind? Or your refusal to hold me back? Since you dislike me so much, then I'll drift away. Today you're all cold to me, answering me half-heartedly. But tomorrow I'll still be here waiting to treat you to dinner. Baby kisses, Liu Ruyan. In the end, he still couldn't resist my relentless pestering. He agreed to come out and eat with me the next day. As soon as I saw him, I honestly apologized. I really wasn't playing you. I just wanted to make you happy, that's all. I didn't expect it to backfire. I'm sorry. Hearing this, the look on Lu Ruyan's face improved a lot, but he still couldn't put aside his pride to give me a good face. While eating, I diligently put food in her bowl, picking out the best pieces to show my sincerity. But Lu Ruyan still refused to talk to me. I couldn't help asking him, you still can't forgive me? Who knows what tricks you're up to again? I'm not. I really just want to apologize to you. Sorry, and not just for making you angry. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan finally agreed to talk to me. Then, what else? And also, I shouldn't have just left last time. But I didn't do it on purpose. I know he must still mind me being a scumbag before. So I hurried to explain. Last time I didn't mean to leave like that either. I got a call in the middle of the night that my dad had a car accident. I was so scared my mind went completely blank, so I rushed back. Later I wanted to go back to find you. But I was afraid that we were doomed to have no result. And instead I didn't dare to go back again. But I did deeply realize my mistake. Please just forgive me. At this, Lu Ruyan's expression looked much better. Although he didn't clearly say he forgave me. At least he was finally willing to talk to me. After dinner, neither of us mentioned going home. We just walked on side by side like that. And I was calculating in my heart how I should directly win Lu Ruyan over. After all, today I'd apologized sincerely. The atmosphere was just right at this moment. If I missed this village, there might be no such inn again. Just then we passed by a park. We saw an elderly couple with gray hair. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair, and the old man was pushing her. The two of them were chatting and laughing. They were very loving and close. So I said to Lu Ruyan, moved, look, the feelings between us old folks are really great. Right after that, I took a chance to confess. How about you give me a chance, so we can also grow old together like them, okay? Lu Ruyan, what? You also want to sit in a wheelchair? You really only learn the bad things. Jingsui, how am I supposed to treat people then? But I refuse to accept that. No, as long as you're the one pushing me, I'm willing to do it. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan finally couldn't hold back her laughter. She reached out and ruffled my hair. Who curses themselves like that? As long as it's you, it doesn't count as a curse. Lu Ruyan took my hand. I forgive you. From then on, Lu Ruyan and I officially started dating. After we made it official, I discovered that she actually happened to work at BG Group, which does business with our company. That also made our relationship more convenient. Sometimes when I went to their company for business, I could secretly meet up with her for a bit. And knowing that I was busy running around for work, Lu Ruyan would also try her best to sacrifice her own time to coordinate with me. That really touched me. 3 months later, the company planned to cooperate with BG Group on a new project. And when putting together the project team, the manager intended to promote a team member with strong business abilities and who was good with people to be his assistant. I enthusiastically volunteered myself. Quite a few colleagues volunteered at the same time as well, including my arch nemesis, Yang Xiaowei. He was using his performance to chase closely behind me, but in the end, I still got the assistant position. To celebrate, I ran straight to BGN Group to find Lu Ruyan right after work. When I saw her come out, I gave her a big bear hug. There were people coming and going all around us. Lu Ruyan is shy. She hurriedly put me down. Looking a bit embarrassed, she said, all right, stop messing around. After I finished teasing her, I stopped fooling around. But later, when we went nearby to eat, we unexpectedly ran into Yang Xiaowei as well. He first ran his eyes over us, then left looking very angry. So baffling. But later, I understood what he was mad about. Because I had joined the new project team. I could both make money and conveniently date Lu Ruyan. I was very happy. So as Lu Ruyan and I kept on celebrating, we ended up celebrating all the way to a hotel. The next day, I almost overslept. In a hurry, I quickly headed to the company to go to work. Then, after buying coffee downstairs from the office and coming out, I ran into Yang Xiaowei again. As soon as he saw me, he sneered. Tell me, how could you get into the new project team and even become the manager's assistant? Turns out you've latched onto Miss Second of BG Group. You're really something. What kind of crap are you spouting first thing in the morning? I was chosen. Clearly because I have excellent business skills. How did it become so filthy when it came out of his mouth? Even if taking 10,000 steps back, I really had gotten this opportunity through the back door. What right would that Yang Xiaowei have to criticize me? If he hadn't previously used his connections to steal my client, and if the company hadn't covered for him, I wouldn't have taken my annual leave in a fit of anger and gone traveling alone. Seeing that I wouldn't admit it, Xiaowei said indignantly, Hee-chan, stop pretending, will you? I clearly saw you eating with the second miss of BG Group yesterday. Do you dare say you two are just ordinary friends? Yesterday I only went to see my relative, my girlfriend. Lu Ruyan, what second miss of BG Group are you talking about? So inexplicable. Ah gee, wait a second. If I remember correctly, the chairman of BG Group really does have the surname Lue, doesn't he? You're talking about my girlfriend, Lu Ruyan. You finally admitted it. When I heard about this, my brain froze for a moment before I reacted. But once I came back to my senses, I remembered the new and old grudges between me and Yang Xiaowei. So I deliberately spoke in a smug, condescending way to piss him off. Oh well, since you found out, then I have nothing to hide either. Lu Ruyan is indeed my girlfriend, and also a relative. And she's also the second young lady of BG Group. I only got together with her on purpose because I knew who she was. Well, you're not convinced? Didn't you also often rely on your connections before? To steal my performance bonuses? How come only you are allowed to use connections to grab performance? What I said was blunt and infuriating, but there was nothing he could do to me. In the end, Yang Xiaowei left with his face flushed red in anger. Revenge accomplished. I was thrilled, overjoyed even. The law of karma may be late, but it arrives. The next second, I panicked again, because when I turned my head, I saw Lu Ruyan standing behind me with a dark, stormy face. Seeing her, my heart instantly tightened for a moment. Baby, what are you doing here? Lu Ruyan handed me the documents in her hand. What? Said you left your documents at the hotel. I brought them over for you. I took the documents from her, nervous and uneasy. Then I forced myself to change the subject. Okay, then do you want some coffee? I'll order you a cup. Faced with my guilty conscience, Lu Ruyan's expression turned even worse. Forget the coffee, but I do want to hear you explain something. What did you mean by what you just said? I opened my mouth, about to explain, when I got a call from Manager Huo. Hee-chang's team is starting work on the first day, and you're already going to be late? If this is your work attitude, then you don't need to come to my project team anymore. Go cool your heels somewhere else. Hearing this voice, my scalp instantly tightened. Manager Huo is known in the company for being strict and impartial. He doesn't give anyone face. So I hurried to calm Lu Ruyan down. Baby, I'll explain it to you later. I have to get to work first. After saying that, I bolted off like a shot. Then I rushed back to my own workstation before Manager Huo exploded. After the busy morning was over, I quickly called Lu Ruyan. I wanted to explain what happened today to her, but found that her phone just wouldn't go through. A bad feeling rose in my heart. I hurriedly took my work green bubble and switched it back to my personal green bubble. Then a message immediately popped up at the top of my phone. It was from Lu Ruyan. She said, let's break up. Those 3 words stabbed my eyes deeply. I hurried to explain, but only got a bright red exclamation mark in return. This time I was really panicking. As soon as work ended in the afternoon, I went straight to BG Group. But what I didn't expect was, Lu Ruyan and I were half a dozen of one, 6 of the other. She also didn't tell me that she still had a fiancé. I waited at the entrance of BGN Group for ages, but still didn't see Lu Ruyan come out. Instead, a handsome guy came looking for me. That handsome guy politely called out to me. You're Ruyan's boyfriend, right? You are, the handsome guy said gently to me. I'm Ruyan's fiancé. Those words left me standing there, stunned. Not knowing what to do, I subconsciously wanted to refute him, but that handsome guy beat me to it first. Don't get the wrong idea. From the way you look, you probably don't even know I exist. Ruyan and I are in a business arranged engagement. Our marriage agreement was set when we were kids. We're both guys. I also don't want you to be kept in the dark, all confused. So I understood what he meant. Although he said he wouldn't hold it against me, my existence, he still hoped I wouldn't have any more contact with his fiancée. He spoke with absolute conviction, looking completely confident. I instantly believed he was Lu Ruyan's fiancé. After all, Lu Ruyan comes from the Bikinis group. Her family background already determines her marriage. There's no way the person could be an ordinary guy like me. Even if this so-called fiancé hadn't shown up today, our relationship probably wouldn't have lasted long anyway. Because the gap between us is a chasm I could never cross, no matter what. Maybe our relationship ending here is actually the best choice. After I got back, I deleted Lu Ruyan's contact info and our photos together. I couldn't wait to erase her from my life, so I could quickly forget her. But when I saw our first photo together, I just couldn't bring myself to hit delete. That was taken when we were still on a trip in Bishan. We were waiting for the movie to start. I was happily taking selfies, and Lu Ruyan happened to come back with the popcorn. She accidentally walked into my shot. By a twist of fate, we just ended up with our very first photo together. That was our beginning. A beginning destined to have no place to rest. A beginning that could never end well. After hesitating for a long while, I still couldn't bear to delete that photo. I kept it on my phone. Let it be a memento of this relationship. Very soon, I started burying myself in work to numb myself. When our company's new project with Bikinis Group officially launched, the project teams from both sides booked a high-end club to celebrate. They directly rented out a luxury club to celebrate. But as soon as I got there, I found that Lu Ruyan was actually there too. The moment our eyes met, we tacitly looked away. Neither of us looked at the other. After a few rounds of drinks, I went to the restroom. Yang Xiaowei followed me out too. He must have noticed something between me and Lu Ruyan and mocked me. What got dumped? Bad mood today? I couldn't be bothered to bicker with him. I washed my hands and walked straight out of the restroom. But Yang Xiaowei kept hounding me aggressively. I knew from the start you two wouldn't last. She's a rich second generation. How could she really fall for you? See, you got dumped, didn't you? Gee, can't it be that I dumped her? Yang Xiaowei didn't buy it. Such an outstanding woman. You should have dumped her. Who are you fooling? Why can't I be the one to dump her? I spouted nonsense with a straight face. I'm just a guy who believes in traditional ideas. He's a dragon. I'm a monkey. And if we force ourselves to be together, our throats will hurt. So I dumped him. Yang Xiaowei was so angry he was speechless. He stormed off in a rage. I proudly won that round. I was just about to leave when a familiar figure blocked my way. If you don't want to talk, then don't talk. What's with the throat will hurt thing? It was Lu Ruyan who had followed me. After not seeing him for so many days, my heart suddenly skipped a beat. In order not to let him laugh at me, my voice tightened instantly. I said, "You're the one who didn't want to talk first." Lu Ruyan looked confused. You said those things to your colleague and didn't even give me an explanation. How do you expect me to talk to you? By kneeling and being your lapdog? If I hadn't seen her fiancé, I would have actually believed her. I said stubbornly, "Didn't you also fail to tell me that you have a fiancé?" And I had no idea you were the second young miss of Bikinis Group. I only said those things to spite my colleague. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan was a bit surprised. How did you know about my fiancé? Hey, that handsome guy didn't lie to me after all. It turned out to be true. I was furious. I stepped forward and kicked her resentfully. Lu Ruyan winced in pain. She tried to grab me, but I pushed her away. Now, I didn't even want to enter the private room. I really didn't want to see that toe-timing jerk again. Leaving the club, tears were welling up in my eyes. But I forced myself to hold them back. I wouldn't let them fall. The next day at the office, I took the initiative to ask the manager to remove me from the project team. After all, the company has so many projects. There was no need to make things hard for myself by staying on the Bikinis Group project. Cutting ties with Lu Ruyan forever like this. Maybe I'd forget her faster. But I didn't expect it while I was avoiding her. Lu Ruyan would come looking for me. In the afternoon, just as I left the office, I saw Lu Ruyan waiting at the entrance. I tried to walk past her to avoid her, but she forcibly dragged me into her car. I struggled and said, "What are you doing? We've broken up. You don't have to be so graceless." Lu Ruyan said, "We're not breaking up." I laughed out of anger hearing this. You're the one who said we're breaking up, and now you're the one saying we aren't. Who do you think you are? I'm nobody. But I think you should listen to me. Explanation? What's there to explain? I sneered. The fact is, you have a fiancé. No matter the reason, you have this fiancé, and whether it was voluntary or not, it doesn't change the fact that you have one. Or do you want to say you were forced, and that he couldn't give you the love you wanted? So you found a sucker like me? Lu Ruyan listened patiently to my complaints. Then she finally spoke. Finished? If you're done, listen to me. I looked at her questioningly. Thanks. When I was with you, the engagement had already been cancelled. Lu Ruyan said firmly. If it's as she said, then it really was a misunderstanding. So can we stay together now? Lu Ruyan looked at me with an innocent expression. If she weren't the second young miss of Bikinis Group, I would definitely throw myself into her arms and say we're not breaking up. But now that I know who she is, I certainly can't stay indifferent. After all, the status gap between us is just too wide. I just come from an ordinary family. Even if Lu Ruyan truly loves me, will her parents truly accept me? Will her friends and family look at me with prejudice? Even though I'm very happy with my family, the class difference between us is very real. So I fell silent for a long time. In the end, I still turned him down. I think ending things here between us might actually be the best outcome. After all, our families really aren't that well matched. As for Lu Ruyan's reaction, I had imagined many possibilities. But this was the one thing I never expected. She calmly looked at the issue of our family classes and said, "You don't need to worry." How could I not be worried? Worried? Lu Ruyan directly dispelled my concerns. Because I refused the arranged marriage, I've already been removed by my parents from the pool of candidates to inherit the family business. The family company will be inherited by my brother. As for me, I'll probably just take a bit of the company dividends every year and live a carefree life as a free-spirited, good formal thing, and that's it. But don't you worry. With my capabilities, supporting a family still won't be a problem. So, how about it? Want to think about choosing me, HMM? Then I don't want to break up anymore. Then I asked him, "So your dad really won't come to me with a 5 million check and tell me to leave his daughter?" Lu Ruyan was speechless.